Folks, thanks for coming on the line with us today. My name's John Dubas. I'm a Vice President for Agent Success with Premier Marketing. We'll be spending the next 45 minutes to an hour or so going over one of the options that you have for hospital indemnity programs that fit well with multiple programs on an individual health basis. The carriers we work with are varied, but today we have a guest speaker with us that works with probably the industry leader in this space, and we want to spend some time discussing the program to make certain that you are aware of an option that can really help your folks if they're on an individual ACA program or a program in the Medicare space for either Medicare Advantage or Medicare Advantage or Medicare Supplement programs. A little bit of background first. Today's presentation is being recorded. You will be receiving a link to the recording and along with some additional follow-up material as soon as the recording will update and we can get that out to you. And so the questions that you may have, we will answer as many as possible today should they arise, but we'll also send out to folks individual answers to the questions that they have. A bit of background as a reminder as to who is Premier Marketing. We are a national marketing organization founded in 1968. That's part of the Integrity Marketing platform. We have offices across the country, acting as an insurance wholesaler, providing independent insurance agents with contracts at the highest possible commission level, with recruiting contracts available for those who qualify. As I mentioned, we were founded in 1968, so this is our 50th anniversary. We're proud of that accomplishment, and it's a nice thing to see a small agency out of a rural town in Nebraska become one of the largest organizations in their space. We are the largest producer for a number of insurance carriers in the Medicare arena, and that includes the Medicare Advantage product for United Healthcare, Anthem, and Meridian Care. Additionally, that full portfolio of product that we offer includes many options for folks in the Medicare space, including the Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement programs, along with standalone Part D programs. We also offer a full portfolio of life insurance and annuity products, including final expense life insurance with pre-need programs as well, in addition to long-term care and short-term care product and disability income programs, and ancillary programs like we're going to concentrate on here today, including other programs like dental, vision, and hearing plans, critical illness and cancer programs, and hospital indemnity plans. That Medicare Advantage portfolio is very robust. All the name brands are there for you, along with many of the larger regional carriers as well. That also applies to our PDP portfolio, where we have a full gambit of programs to help you with your prospects and clients. Medicare Supplements, it's a big world out there, and we have a big chunk of it. So there's a number of options available to you in the Medicare Supplement arena with our organization. Today, however, we're concentrating on a hospital indemnity program offered by one of the leaders in this space, GTL, Guaranteed Trust Life. And our guest speaker today is Greg Esposito, who's the Assistant Vice President of Sales for GTL. And we're going to, at this time, let you listen to somebody without a head cold, a little more dulcet tone. I'm going to turn the presentation over to Greg. Switching that right now, Greg, where you have the helm, so to speak.
Sounds great.
And we're ready to go.
Appreciate it, John. First off, yeah, definitely like, you got a little cold going on there, but definitely appreciate you inviting me to participate in the webinar. And hey, thanks to everybody who's tuning in. Absolutely have a great product at GTL. We're actually the market leader in hospital indemnity, and actually have been since we created the product 13 years ago. So really looking forward to telling you about it today. And we're really not going to spend the entire time just talking about the product. What we try to focus on at GTL is providing and sharing sales ideas, cross-selling ideas. So a big part of the presentation today is not only just about the product, but we like to share how other agents are selling it, how they're bringing it up, and not just really high-level ideas. We're going to show you word for word how they do it, when they do it, and exactly what they say. So one of the most important things, just to kind of piggyback upon what John was saying about ancillary products. They're really important to bring up to the client, because as insurance agents, we know one thing. Your clients are going to call you and ask you about, how do I cover these costs I have, or how do I get cancer insurance, or I need some skilled nursing care. When are they going to call you? Well, they're going to call you after they already have the need. And we all know that's a little bit too late to get started on a policy for these types of coverages. So it's really up to us not to just walk into the house or meet with the client over the phone and sell them the major coverage. We also need to try and cover up some of those out-of-pocket expenses that they could have if they run into hospitalizations or cancer diagnosis or care for as they get a little older. So that's what we're really designed for at Guarantee Trust. Hospital indemnity plan we're going to talk about today. It's called Advantage Plus, and in Florida it's called Indemnity Plus. That said, we created the plan 13 years ago. Here's a little great history on it. Since inception, we have never increased the rates. Also, we've never lowered policyholder benefits. So the rates are exactly the same for everyone who's ever purchased a policy with us. So a great history there of a product that's not only priced right, but working great, never having to touch the rates or lower policyholder benefits. That said, John mentioned there's other competitors out there who have products. However, even the ones that were built after GTL, they don't even have the features and benefits that we've placed into ours. So we do have the best product available. I'm going to point out those to you specifically today when we touch upon them. We've also got a lot of claims expertise. So we get things done claim-wise about 5 days faster than the national average. And we also want to make sure we make it as easy as possible for you to conveniently cross-sell our product. So we even have a cross-selling video you can share with clients, like 3 minutes long. We also have other ways for you to get the product cross-sale started. And of course, however you want to write business with us, you can. You could do paper, you could use our e-application on either a tablet, or you can use a PC platform. So we've got it all, and let's go a little bit into it. Now, if you're not talking to your clients about hospital indemnity, you should probably think about starting, because it can really help them. From a broad picture, you can see that since 2016, GTL sent out over $110 million in hospital indemnity and cancer claim benefits. And the reason I have cancer on there is because we have an incredible cancer rider on our hospital indemnity plan that we'll go over. If you're thinking, well, that's a broad number, what does that really drill down to? How much could it actually help one of my clients? These are some individual hospital indemnity policies that we've had in force here. Look at this one on top. One policy, we've already paid out over $60,000 in claim benefits. That one's been around for about 10 years. When we look at the bottom one there, $33,782, that policy's been around like 3 years. So if you're thinking hospital indemnity can just be something where your client can get a few $100s here and there when they have a hospitalization, I think this screen shows you a little bit different. It could really make a vast difference in a client's financial picture. So here's the game plan. Tell you a little bit about GTL, all about the product, share cross-selling tips, and then we'll follow up with things like how you get an app to us, how do we process claims, and some questions. We'll answer those if you have them. So this is Guarantee Trust. This is our building that we built back in the 80s. Everybody at Guarantee Trust works out of this building. It's located in Glenview, Illinois. We're a mutual company. The only state we don't try to get our policies approved in is New York. That's it. So our platform for hospital indemnity is 44 states wide. I'll show you that map in a little bit. Before I do that, let's say you're sitting across the table from a client and you mentioned GTL, and they say, well, who is GTL? Well, we've been around 82 years, AM Best top tier rating, zero debt on the balance sheets, any financial metric you can possibly look at. It's the strongest it's ever been at Guarantee Trust. And just coming from a manager's meeting that we had the other day, we are officially going to have our 8th consecutive record year at GTL. So things never looking better than they are at the moment at GTL. And I think those in the green box are good to pass along to clients to get them familiar and comfortable with applying for coverage at Guarantee Trust. So here's the cut to the chase slide for me today. This is what I'd like to help with. When you're talking to a client about their Medicare Advantage policy, you start going over some features, benefits, and possible co-pays. And if they happen to live in a county where they don't have a premium, that's great. And when you start going over some of these co-pays that could pop up when they use the plan, they don't sound too bad. But down the road, maybe they have a 3-4 day hospital stay. Maybe they took an ambulance to get there. Those kind of add up. And then after the hospital stay, they get the bill and they're thinking, maybe there's a better way to do this. So this is what we want to avoid today. We want to get in front of them before they have that future hospitalization. We want to show them a hospital indemnity plan. We're going to show you how to create the plan for them so it's very affordable. And after they have that future hospitalization, they actually end up with zero net out-of-pocket costs. That's what I want to help with today. And believe me, the presentation is very thorough, and I think we'll get you excited about it. So here's our state footprint for hospital indemnity. The states in black are where we do not offer the coverage. That said, important things to know. Once you have the policy, you can use it in all 50 states, even if we don't issue it in that particular state. Also, I get this question all the time. What if I buy the policy when I live in Illinois and then I decide I'm tired of the snow, so I move to Arizona? Do I have to do anything? No, you can keep your policy that you have and use it whenever you, in any of the 50 states. Also, if you start changing your main medical insurance down the road, maybe you switch to a different carrier's MA plan, you can just keep your GTL policy. It's totally separate. So the thing that's nice about Advantage Plus is it's available for sale year-round. But we always want to make sure we're compliant when we offer it to clients. You may be wondering, can I talk to clients about Advantage Plus when I'm doing a Medicare Advantage appointment? So you absolutely can, as long as you have that scope of appointment form with the hospital indemnity box initialed. Then you can talk to clients both about their Medicare Advantage plan and GTL. Now, the good news is a lot of agents today, they don't want to do it at the same time, which is great. Ton of clients, way too busy during AEP, and they're going to circle back later and talk to their clients about GTL. Well, remember, if you're going to just talk to your client about Guaranteed Trust, Advantage Plus, you do not need the scope of appointment form at all. So if you're going to talk about both, you do. Just GTL, don't worry about a scope. Okay, so probably one of the most important slides of the day, we're going to show you how many insurance agents who sell GTL's hospital indemnity plan during a Medicare Advantage sale, this is how they cross-sell it. Let's get into it. Imagine sitting at the table with Mr. and Mrs. Smith. You're going over the Medicare Advantage, features, benefits, possible co-pays. And when you get here, inpatient hospital care, you're going to say something like, Mrs. Smith, with this Medicare Advantage plan, going to the hospital, you're going to be responsible for $250 for each of the first 6 days. So this is the point where if you want to start the GTL cross sale, this is a good place to mention that you can take care of this. So you can follow up that sentence by saying, well, Mrs. Smith, if this daily copay is a little concerning, or maybe you don't even want to have to worry about budgeting for it, don't worry. After I go through your Medicare Advantage plan, we'll get you signed up for that. I'll show you how we can lower those copays down to zero. Does that sound good to you? She's going to say, of course, yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. So you're just mentioning that you have something to take care of the concern. We're not going to talk about GTL anymore, but you're just saying, here's a potential copay. Here's a great way that I have for you to lower that. Here's another one that some agents use. Mrs. Smith, many of my clients have me set up their healthcare coverage and design it so it leaves them with zero net out-of-pocket expenses. Would you like me to try and design a similar healthcare plan for you? Probably going to say, sure, show me how that's done. Let's try and do that. So this is just a good way to let them know you have a potential copay and you got a solution for them, and we'll talk about it later. Now, after you complete the Medicare Advantage sale, maybe you're finishing up the application, now you've got a lot of different ways to bring GTL back into the conversation. First way, you could just say something like, well, we've got you all set with your Medicare Advantage coverage, so let me show you how we can lower those copays to zero, like I mentioned earlier. Or you could show them GTL's 3-minute hospital indemnity consumer video. This video is absolutely incredible, and it talks about the product and actually shows a quick example of how it can work when a client goes into the hospital. So that's good to have. We can always send you the link for that. And we also have what we call our infographic. It's used for two purposes. The first one, you can use it during the sale to explain how the plan works. It's kind of got a nice little diagram that flows, showing a person going into the hospital, their copay, getting the claim money from GTL, and it taking care of it for them. The second purpose is the backside of this form has an area for you to put your contact info. This is a approved consumer marketing piece. It's one piece of paper printed on very nice paper. You can call GTL, order some. You can put your contact info on there, throw it in an envelope, and use it as a prospecting piece to get that hospital indemnity appointment. So let's get into the plan and show you how easy it is to design it for your client's needs. There's only 2 questions you need to ask to set up the base plan, and the great news is you already know the answer. First question, on their Medicare Advantage plan, how many days do they have a hospitalization copay for? Maybe it's 5, 6, 7, whatever it is, you pick a base plan from GTL that would cover that amount of days. Most of you, know it's going to be a 5-day or 6-day copay, so the 6-day benefit period or base plan is going to work good. Maybe the 10-day would be preferable if they have more than 6 days of a hospitalization copay responsibility. Now, you're not just getting 6 days. These benefit periods restore an unlimited amount of time after 60 days of no use. So it's not like you're just buying a policy for GTL for 6 days, and once you use up 6 days, it's gone. These things can be used over and over and over again, which is how you saw we've been paying people thousands of dollars over the life of their policy in claims. I'll go over how they restore in a little bit, but for right now, all we did is we made sure that we have a base plan from GTL with enough days to cover their copay responsibility on their Medicare Advantage plan. Question number 2 is how much do they have to pay daily when they go into the hospital? So you've already got their base plan picked out. Let's say it's a 6-day benefit period. So we see from there we can choose anywhere from $250 up to $750 per day. And basically what most agents do is they match the copay on the Medicare Advantage plan. So if somebody has a 6-day copay responsibility at $280, they will take the GTL plan, the 6-day benefit period, and set them up for $280 per day of benefits coming from GTL. Really simple, right? So that'd be a pretty cool base plan right there. You can see there's different ones to choose from, but we also have 2 other benefits that come with the base plan. If the client goes into the ER due to an injury, like they fell and broke their hip, and they're admitted, so they're going to get treated in the ER and admitted, well, then they're going to get $150 of an ER benefit, and because they're in the hospital, they're going to start getting that benefit on the top of the screen too, their hospital confinement. So mental health benefit, totally separate. If a client goes into the hospital for a mental illness or they go into a mental health facility, their benefit's going to be flat $175 per day for up to 7 days. So those are the 3 components of the base plan. Obviously, the hospitalization part is used most, but we do pay a lot of ER benefits along with the hospitalization plan because a lot of people do go to the hospital due to an injury, get treated and admitted. So when your client watches the video or you tell them a little bit about the plan and they say, well, okay, well, seriously, how does this work? The important thing to tell them is the key thing to know is it triggers after being in the hospital for a certain amount of time. For example, if you're in the hospital for 12 hours and you have a 3-day or 6-day base plan, your plan kicks in. If you have a 10-day or 21-day benefit period as the base plan, that kicks in after 24 hours. But I'll tell you what, before you end up writing that down, just write down something like if you're selling a 10-day or 21-day benefit period, add the short duration state rider, because that makes the plan kick in after 12 hours. And the cost of the short duration stay rider for a 65-year-old is less than $1 a month. So very worthwhile. If you get a 3-day or 6-day benefit period, you don't need to add the short duration stay rider. If you do the 10 or 21, it's really a good idea to do so. Also have a 1-day benefit period where you can sign somebody up for coverage too. So all different plans, all different styles. So as we talk about today, I'm going to focus a lot on the Medicare Advantage plan, but as John mentioned earlier, there's some other plans out there that this product can work really well with. So once they're in the hospital, what are some typical uses of the base plan? Well, it could be for a scheduled surgery. It could be for an unexpected illness like a heart attack, stroke, or an accident. Car wreck, for example, rush to the hospital, or they fall and break a bone. Really, it's not about why they went to the hospital as much as it is if they're there long enough for their plan to kick in, 12 hours. Here's something I'm sure you guys are wondering, because every time I do trainings on these, this is when the hands go up and they say, well, what about observation coding? What's GTL going to do about that? Well, this is one of those reasons I mentioned earlier where we stand out from our competition. If your client is in the hospital long enough for their base plan to kick in most instances that's going to be 12 hours, we really don't care how they're coded. We don't care if they're coded as inpatients. We don't care if they're coded as observation. We're going to pay their benefits 100% of what they have coming. And we will pay that for the amount of time that they have benefits coming. In other words, GTL is not going to lower their payout because they were coded to observation, and we're not going to lower it because of them being in observation for a certain amount of days. Our competition tends to either not cover observation codings or cut the benefits in half and cut the amount of days that they can get observation coded benefits for. We don't do that. So again, pretty simple to explain. Observation covered 100% as long as your base plan kicks in. So here's how the base plans restore. I mentioned I'd go over this a little earlier. Let's just say we have a 10-day base plan or benefit period. Going to the hospital for 5 days, we come home, we're feeling good. Next 60 days, we do not return to the hospital. So when you wake up on that 61st morning, you have a new 10-day benefit period to work with. Simple. Here's a different situation. You go to the hospital, you're there for 5 days, you come home. Before the 60-day restoration happens, you go back in the hospital. Well, you only used 5 of your 10-day benefit period the first time, so you still have the remaining 5 days to use. And then after you're out 60 days, you get a brand new benefit period. So all the benefit periods we talked about restore this way. Once you're out of the hospital for 60 days, you always have a brand new one to start with. Here's some details that are actually closers, music to the client's ears, if you will. Guarantee issue window. We're the only ones that have that. Meet with your clients that are between 64.5 and 65.5 years of age when they sign the application. They will not have to answer any of the health questions to get this policy. I'll get into this later why it's really important, because we all know we're going to meet with some clients that have some conditions that normally may be kick-out conditions for this product. So you're meeting with people in guarantee issue and they have some health issues, get them this plan now. Now, in most states, clients can get this from age 40 through 85, but they can keep it the rest of their lives. It never goes away unless they stop paying the premiums. Here's something that's great about the plan. I mentioned right from the get-go that we've never increased rates. But how about this? When you buy this plan, that's your rate. So as you get older, you still pay the same rate as when you started. Do we guarantee that? We do not. Have we ever increased the rates in the past 13 years? No. So pretty darn good chance that you're not going to see any type of rate increase for your clients. So nice to know there. No annual policy fee. In most states, we charge a one-time $20 application fee, and we're going to waive that if you're signing up the spouse either at the same time or sometime later in the future. We like to pay the benefits directly to the policyholder. If you are taking any notes at all and about something with regard to what should I tell my clients about this policy, tell them when they go into the hospital, just leave their GTL health ID card at home. Just keep it with the policy at home, because then they're not going to give it to the hospital administrator when they check in and assign their GTL benefits to the hospital. It's not a big deal. We're happy to pay the hospital directly or the policyholder directly, but I've just been told by agents that, policyholders like to see the check come to them and use it however they like. So just a little tip from other agents to you. So that infographic we talked about a little earlier, it's important to work clients through it because it really helps them understand how the product works. This is how you do it. You got the infographic in front of them and you say, well, let me show you how this plan can work. So here's Julie. She's 65 years old. She's got a Medicare Advantage plan where when she goes into the hospital, it's going to cost her $250 per day. That's a concern because it can add up. So if we have a Advantage Plus plan set up with GTL already, we can set it up to cover that $250 per day benefit. Now, Julie's 65 years old. Her cost in her state is going to be $25.54 a month for the GTL plan. So what happens when she goes into the hospital for 5 days? Well, her Medicare Advantage copay for that stay is going to be $1,250. She sends the claim information to GTL. They send her $1,250. She uses that to pay her Medicare Advantage claim. So her net out-of-pocket expenses for that hospital stay was zero. Very simple, straightforward. This really helps clients understand how it can work. And really what they're looking at then are two numbers on that page. They're looking at, do I want to budget for $1,250 down the road potentially, or do I want to pay a small amount for a policy? It's a simple decision, and I'll pass along to you what agents tell me all the time. 70% of the clients they talk to about GTL's plan purchase a policy. So imagine having a 70% close rate on an ancillary product. Some agents tell me that's way too low. So just want to mention we are doing a national training today. So, if you at every state approves our products, some approve all things we have, some approve some of them. So I just want to mention that all of the benefits that we have today are not available in every state, but you can always contact GTL to take a peek at a specimen policy, or just know whenever you use our quoting software, it's only going to let you apply what's available for in your state. So let's get into a rider that I think should be on every policy. You see the Built for Use banner. That's because ours is better than everybody else's. Ambulance rider. Think about this. An ambulance rider that is easy to explain in 5 to 7 seconds. Here's how you do it. Mrs. Smith, with the ambulance rider that GTL has, if you use an ambulance to go to the hospital, you're going to get money every time, even if you're not admitted. And you can use the ambulance up to 4 times a year and up to 12 times over the life of the policy. That's it. So what's the Built for Use banner? That's there because with GTL's ambulance rider, it doesn't matter if you use it for ER, short observation, or an inpatient stay. You're getting your money. Our competitors don't do this. If you're not admitted, some of them won't pay you any benefits. So ours is simple to explain because you don't have to explain that to clients. Also, the new Advantage Plus Ambulance Rider allows you to choose the amount you get. Our old one was a flat $200. Now you can choose between $50 up to $400 per use benefit. Here's something else we have that others don't. Say you use an ambulance to go to the hospital and then a day later or so you need to go to another facility or a skilled nursing facility. You need an ambulance to get there, you're going to get another benefit from GTL. Our competitors, if you look at the fine print, you'll see most of them say you can only get one ambulance benefit per hospitalization event. We don't do that. Also, we're including air ambulance coverage in our newest ambulance rider. So if they take an air ambulance, they have that benefit coming to them too. Here's a rider that I really like. It's brand new. It's being approved in many states, so you may not see it on your state yet, but probably coming through soon. It's called the Critical Accident Rider, and like our ambulance rider, which is only like $4 to $5 a month to get, really affordable, I think the Critical Accident Rider about the same thing. Now, when you look at the covered event column, and skip the accidental death, but then you go down and you see hip or skull fracture, dislocation, knee dislocation. These are all things that come to mind that happen when you get a little bit up in age. So these are lump sum payouts that you see if the client has some of these situations or accidents happen to them. And again, when I looked at the pricing on this $3, $4 a month, boy, this one is a pretty nice rider to add. Very inexpensive, and if something happens, it's a lump sum payout. Now, you do have two choices, either the $5,000 or the $10,000 maximum benefit, and there's also an accidental death benefit you see there too. So keep that in mind. The critical accident rider, I really like it. With regard to cancer coverage, I mentioned earlier we have a great cancer rider. Take a peek at this one. You're going to find this rider has more benefits on it than most standalone cancer policies do. And before I get into this, I just want to mention something with regard to open enrollment, AEP. I'm going to go over a lot of riders here. I mean, it's just a few more, but I just want to mention if you are cross-selling this during open enrollment, cover their get them a nice base plan to cover their hospitalization confinements, get them the ambulance rider. You've done an incredible job. Are you going to have time during open enrollment to go through all these riders? Probably not. But if you can cross-sell the base plan, the ambulance rider, you've done an incredible job. So keep that in mind. And now let's talk a little bit about the cancer rider. So our cancer rider starts out where most cancer policies would, but ours keeps going. So an invasive, life-threatening cancer diagnosis, we're going to pay whatever they selected, $2,500 all the way up to $20,000 of a lump sum benefit. Now we have cancer in situ also included. So this is a different type of cancer diagnosis. Usually cancer in situ is an early stage cancer. People are getting their wellness exams every year. Cancer is being found earlier. Well, most cancer policies don't have cancer in situ included. So your client could have a standalone cancer policy, get diagnosed with cancer in situ, and not have coverage. We pay a 25% benefit, which works out great in most cases, because usually if it's found early, it's surgery, and that's it. We're still not done. We have skin cancer benefits included in our cancer rider. So if your client gets diagnosed with a basal cell or squamous cell skin cancer, that's $500 to them. And we'll pay that out 3 times over the life of the policy. So here's my favorite thing about the cancer rider. If you have somebody who unfortunately had skin cancer and we paid them out 3 times, and then later they had cancer in situ and we paid out that 25% benefit, they still have their full benefit that they signed up for the invasive life-threatening cancer. So just because we're paying cancer in situ or skin cancer benefits, we're not taking away from their base amount that they signed up from. That's why I say it's built for use. Look at all the different types of cancers that are covered. What agents do quite a bit is they look at the client's maximum out of pocket on their main healthcare plan, they double it, and that's the amount of cancer coverage that they sign them up for with GTL. Here's why they do that. Say they're diagnosed with cancer in the fall of this year, they start their treatment, they could hit their maximum out of pocket quickly, and then January 1st comes, they're still getting treated, another maximum out of pocket. So think about that when you're looking for the amount of coverage that's available for them to get what they should get. Try to cover their maximum out of pocket twice. So here's a skilled nursing facility rider, and there's actually 2 coverage choices. You could choose the skilled nursing facility coverage to kick in day 1, go all the way up through day 50, and you could choose a benefit amount of 100, 150, or 200 per day. Or if you want to kind of match it up to their coverage that they have, you could have it start day 21 through day 100, a flat 120 per day. The things to know about this rider, the first one is, what does it take for it to kick in? It takes 3 days in the hospital consecutively, and then going to that skilled nursing facility within 30 days of that hospital stay. The other thing that's nice to know is we will count any observation time towards that 3-day requirement. And this rider does restore after 60 days of no use, so they could use it again. I won't spend a lot of time on the outpatient surgery rider. I find it a little expensive for the benefit you get. But that said, if you do have somebody in a rural area that would go to an outpatient surgical facility, most likely instead of a hospital to get these small surgeries done, might be worth their while. Key thing to know, this is surgery, not just MRIs or x-rays. Typical uses would be cataract surgery, maybe a colonoscopy where there was some tissue removed. So in other words, something surgical was done. So available coverage, you can use it up to 2 times per year, $250 to $1,000 each time. Underwriting, great product because not only does it cover a lot of things, there's not a lot of underwriting on it. There's only 5 health questions. There's no MIB, no RX check, no phone interview, no medical records needed to apply. Very simple. So you're going to walk out of the client's house knowing if they're getting the coverage or not. And guess what? If you use one of our e-app platforms, you're going to see they have the coverage before you even get to your car, because our e-application platforms instantly underwrite and can instantly issue and deliver a policy. So short yes, no application. All the coverage I went over today, except the lump sum cancer rider, is guarantee issue from the ages of 64.5 to 65.5 years of age. There's a 6-month pre-ex, which I'll go over, but it actually is a great situation for your clients. And this policy is contestable for the first 24 months of its existence, so let's make sure they answer the health questions correctly. Payment modes, most people do monthly bank draft, but we can draft for any mode. Here's something to keep in mind. You're going to every once in a while run into a client that doesn't want GTL to draft their account for the premium. When you run into that client, we will do direct bill for quarterly, semi-annual, or annual modes. We don't offer monthly for direct bill. And you'll want to collect the premium check for the first premium with the app. Other than that, you're good to go. If you're using bank draft, you do not need to collect any premium whatsoever. So let's get into the pre-ex. So do they have to wait 6 months before they can use this? Absolutely not. If I bought this policy from you today and I fell down and broke my hip tomorrow, I can use this right away. That has nothing to do with a pre-existing condition. What is the pre-ex? Well, as you can see, I like to keep the presentations fun, a lot of movement, and keep things interesting. So there's your definition, but let me show you how it works. Let's say that you came to my house today and you sold me an Advantage Plus policy. Anything that I went to the doctor for in the previous 6 months before I signed that GTL application, and he was treating me for that or said I need to go into the hospital to get something done for that specific condition. Well, if I get my policy today and then I go into the hospital the first 6 months I have it for that specific pre-existing condition, GTL is not going to pay the claim. So really simple. Today I buy my policy. What happened in the previous 6 months? That's going to be pre-existing. Can't use this policy for the first 6 months for that specific condition. Now, guarantee issue. Important to know. 64.5 to 65.5 can get this coverage guarantee issue, but they do have the 6-month pre-ex. So they have a little bit of a leg up though. So I'm going to show this to you in a positive view. If they are not in the guarantee issue range, they cannot get this policy if they are insulin dependent, if they have COPD, emphysema, dementia. So if you're running into people with those type of conditions and they're in the guarantee issue range, get them the coverage, because the deal is they do have the 6-month pre-ex, but once they have their policy, they would be able to use this after 6 months for insulin dependent, COPD, emphysema, dementia, and any of those hospital stays for those pre-existing conditions they have, which are pretty serious, and they're going to be in the hospital quite a bit, they're going to be able to use this policy. So keep that in mind. Guarantee issue folks do have the pre-ex, but they can use it for those conditions after 6 months. The key thing is you'll be able to get them the coverage even though they already have those serious conditions. If you want to use your PC to quote, you just go to GTL's website, you click on Agent, download software, click on Download Advantage Plus. It loads a nice small program on your desktop, really easy to quote. If you want to use your smartphone or tablet, Apple or Android, you would want to download GTL e-app. Now, the cool thing about downloading that onto your tablet or your smartphone is not only can you quote, but you can do an e-application. So you'll want to download GTL e-app. Then when you open it for the first time, it's going to ask you for your GTL agent code. Then you're going to create your own username and password, and then you can use it from there, never having to remember your GTL agent code again. So take your pick. Paper's great. If you're going to use a paper application, you can mail it, you can scan email it, you can fax it to GTL, we'll take it. If you want to use the e-application for your tablet or smartphone, that's great. We're going to get their signature. They're going to sign your tablet or smartphone screen. We're all good to go. If you want to use the PC platform, we do have that available. And agents use that a lot if they're not with the client. Maybe the client's 2-3 hours away. The only thing that's different with the PC platform, we have no way to get their signature. So with the PC platform, when you complete the app, one of the last things you're going to see on the screen is going to tell the client to pick up the phone, or you conference them in to about a 3-minute automated verification call. Real simple. We got a 98% completion rate the first time with the call. It's really short. So just before I move on, just want to mention paper application or using your tablet or smartphone, no verification call. PC platform's the only e-app that you need to do the V-call on. Last thing we're covering, claim processing. Pretty simple. Here's what we expect you to do for claims. Nothing. We like to do things here at GTL so you can keep doing what you do, sell. So here's the claim form. Just tell the client, hey, when you have a claim, come home, call GTL, they'll get you a claim form. Whether we mail it or email or fax it to them, we'll get it to them. It's really short. They put their name, their policy number, date they went into the hospital, why, and their doctor's contact info. Then they sign the HIPAA form. That's the most important part. We asked them to send in the hospital bill. If I asked you what percentage of the people send us the right hospital bill, you would be staggered to know it's 60%. But for the 40% that do not send us the bill we need, that's why we have the HIPAA form. We can contact the facility, get the bill we need, process the claim, and we don't have to bother the agent. Perfect. So there's the claim process at GTL. I will tell you our average turnaround time on our claim is 8 to 10 days once we have the information we need. I will also share with you, because I'm full disclosure here, if a client buys a policy and then say 2 weeks later turns in a claim for a left hip surgery, we're probably going to wonder if that was a pre-existing condition they knew about when they signed up for coverage. So we could also use that HIPAA form to pull the medical records to double check. I will tell you though that happens very rarely. So it's good to know the claim process at GTL is very fast. Piece of cake. So the product today, I know we covered a lot. Hopefully you're pretty excited to talk to your clients about it. And it's really going to help you grow your business, going to help your clients, and it's definitely going to create a lot of referrals for you. With regard to getting started, you definitely want to contact Premier on that. I got their number there, 800-365-8208. You go to their website too, take care of that. If you have some really specific product questions, or maybe something comes up after the webinar today and you want some questions, maybe you want to order some infographics, supplies, you can always call GTL Sales Support. We got our number there. We got their email address there too. Really do appreciate you tuning in. I know it's a really busy time of the year for you. And, you know, we want to say first, thanks. And second, have a great AEP. And I will just pass along to you as a last comment here. Your clients will really love this product and use it quite a bit. And referrals will definitely come your way for it. So at this time, we can see if there's any questions, or John, if you want to hop back in, and we can take it from here.
Yep. One of the questions that popped up, Greg, is if I do an e-app, will I be able to print the policy for my files later?
Absolutely. So what happens with the e-application process is it will be issued right away, and then the agent actually has access to print the PDF of the policy or kind of save it if they like.
Perfect. That's the only question that came over the line. I'm going to run through just a few slides to tell the story as to why you would want to offer this program in conjunction with Premier as an agent. Thank you, Greg, for your expertise and for the information that you've given us here today. Some of the additional assistance you would receive through Premier, of course, is a discounted D&O program that allows you to cover yourself with any carrier, with any upline that you have. One of the things that we have as independent agents is a choice to go and work with whomever we want to work with, but we need to make certain that we cover ourselves with errors and omissions coverage, and we have a program that does that very well at a very strong rate for you to make certain that you have the coverage you need for yourself. We also offer a discounted package of continuing education credits through our association with WebCE. If you are looking to contract with multiple organizations, you can create an agent profile in the Assurance Bay program and select different carriers one at a time, and it'll autofill the contracts for you, which is very helpful in avoiding the old carpal tunnel syndrome. And it's a great way for you to also see the vast portfolio of product that we have. But obviously, you'll want to go in there and do that with Guaranteed Trust Life immediately. We do offer also other training programs that help you become comfortable with different marketing concepts. And those, for the most part, like what we have here today, are an access available 24/7 through recordings of those presentations, so you have them whenever you want to access them. We do offer different means of electronically accessing folks through quote engines, remote enrollment devices. Greg mentioned the nice program that GTL has where you can basically complete the app and then finish it up with a telephonic signature, in a manner of speaking. It's a great way for you to minimize your windshield time, and as you work back through your Medicare Advantage book of business, it's a great way for you to handle as many people as quickly and efficiently as possible as well. We do offer a program that can help you put your social media programs on autopilot for a small fee. We create the content and different opportunities to become visible on the World Wide Web. It's a great program for many agents to do to establish their identity, and we can get you some additional information on that as well. One of the nice things that you have with ancillary products like those offered with GTL is the fact that you can cold call for them, and they are a demand product in many circumstances that allow you to reach out to people in that fashion. We can help you with those lists at either a nominal or no cost basis. We do also help folks with community-based marketing programs where you can take a presentation and speak to a hospital indemnity program as a seminar in the community. We work with a number of organizations to help you do that. We also offer opportunities in retail marketing and with provider marketing as well. Some carriers will come up with different generated prospects for you as well on a case-by-case basis. We want to make certain that we involve you with every sales opportunity available through our organization, and that includes vetting different internet lead sources as well. We do offer direct mail support based on production. It's a grand discount on different mailing programs, and we get you additional information on that too. One of the things that you see here is that you have a limited amount of time, it seems, every day. We have 24 hours each and every day, and it's how you use that business or that time that helps drive your business that makes it of particular value. What we want to be is your partner in your attempts to make yourself as efficient and as proficient as possible, and we'd like to be your partner for that business. So when you look at the information that Greg has supplied for us today and the information you'll get in the follow-up to today's presentation, make it a part of your personal marketing program and use it. That's the big secret. When all is said and done, more is said than done. We need to make certain that the opportunities we have are followed up on and leveraged as much as possible. As Greg mentioned, you can reach our offices through the toll-free number at 800-365-8208. The contact information on the screen now is for our folks here in the Dallas office. We'd like the opportunity to partner with you, and we want to earn your business in order to do so. That said, watch for the follow-up that will come as part of the presentation and a little bit later today. I want to thank you for the time that you've spent with us. Greg, thank you for your assistance on today's webinar. We look forward to visiting with you agents on an individual basis on the very near future. And in the meantime, We wish you good selling. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, John.